Guys, this planet is hijacked and it's probably suitable right now on this meeting. Continues for recent through the ending portion of the previous video there. We're at not Poland, we're not at Russia, we're at this sector. The sector most filled with degens. I have a lot to mention and a lot to condemn, so then I'll try to complete it. And I don't worship ego, I worship peace. Alright guys, there's too many scatters out there, it's mission impossible. Our guys are simply not there. It's not that we ever do any morally wrong. So why is that these are doing as if it's morally wrong? The latest hour, it was such a crucifixion. Like, if persons know me really well, which I sort of more in the other mode on comparison knows even more, whether comparative, whether knows more of, I have to cringe and sort of grow another set of limbs to get used to it. It's literally like getting cousins microwave and actually having to watch. Reliterarization that is best suitable not to literize. There's something about language of those mentions. It's a bit of the regular social lane. Societies may not be ready for it, and our groups may not be as ready for it. Or whether as ready for it could be to, and whether reason there to could be of to could be very much for it yet. Vermilion language is chiseled, so I cannot directly speak it in impressive, and already it's on the metric assessed by the Nazis on the grammar and on the spelling. The previous hour, once that kicks in, then the hideousness really came. I may be even doing around, not slapping directly towards these fugitives. I happen to have a father who is autistic enough and certainly so odd. Person will start questioning the very existence of existence also. A reason there could be a generalization. It keeps these two parents does so much spell of exhaustion. It's not that I commonly mention this, right? And I do devote most onto condemning the source, which is from modernity. But with this insolence and leaving the slithering prince or leaving the chosen one, someone important out there, whether a fellow teammate, that's going to result to 7 billion getting microwaved. And I'm pretty worried if a regular human gets gets microwaved. I'm not somebody who is not with reason. Reasonable persons don't have to. And they may think this way, but they won't do it. And there might be still a real chance, but a real chance, and whether it's a bit more common than the rare, very comparative, whether the special rare chance could be much of. I know I should be singing music. Or whether here, and also I should be singing music. That's the I made a pause there. That's a flaw, or therefore I have mental problems and I take drugs. According to these font abusing freaks, the 7 billion are gonna laugh. They're utterly brutal. They don't care. These are criminals out of country. They're mental disease and criminals, and whether mental disease just, and whether reason they're, and whether just. And we may have to stick a knife directly to them and start finding the hijacking organ there and dissect them right outside in groups of Palestinians. We got some vicious degeneracy going on, guys. The language being chiseled, so, and it's already measured on the grammar and spelling metric. And if there's been underperformance, not as impressive because the language itself it's purposely made to pull away from it. That's the amount of no dignity, no principle. Whether sort of no dignity, what the topic of could be fairly just right. It is a major degeneracy. 7 billion is identical again. They're pushing it. If I had a sound file on and sort of typed the notes right and then at the platform I sort of chose to be suitable for them to compute. They are not training our guys. They are doing vicious spell of exhaust and try to poison and contaminate. Throughout the way, it's doublification, morning to night, ruthless degeneracy. The goal is to push, and sometimes then they toy around, try to change our mood. While there's another set of degens that are pushing the anesthetic sprays. Right, we have this GHD is accountable, and whether it's a code name for that entity, whether with minor rather, whether moderate rather, whether also rather, also could be the personnel, or whether on personnel, the probable is also suitable of, and whether the probable but also could be, whether the reason they're just the probable of the suitable of the suitable. And there will be some laughter, like, that's so insincere and that's so vicious. It's out of principles. We got mad doctor factual machines and we got the Nazis. These two can be a bit different. Both will be mass murdered and whether mass deleted. Gorhams has already issued, and Mr. Zerks has utterly issued. This keeps on taunting. And if for sort of fate chosen me to rise force, be picked on enough to have reason that can be briefing about it, or reason whether they're shortened or whether they're briefing of, I wouldn't be remotely in the position as agitated out of the anesthetic script, but that's what you're supposed to do. No law, no justice, deprivation, ego, hideousness, purposely try to tackle others. These are just going to kill, and keep fussing around until I actually ship them to the microwave shop. I personally hacked them to death. 一Mandarin 把他们给撞开，把他们撞掉。Maybe different from the original formulating of which you're from mother of it wouldn't be sort of targeted to death, or whether it wouldn't be making whether reach to death, because these are already undead, not living anymore, whether reason just and whether they are already undead, and it will be their second undead. Reason they're regular and whether regular tries pronoun not to provide words. Too much social sense, right? What is there to state? I already stated so much. I've done more than the Prime Minister combined. The Darwin's irresponsibility deserves contempt. What is he saying? Don't get into the show. You're not Asian. You're stupid. Right? And check out the word. You're stupid. Whether not as much or whether no, whether also another, or whether another. No as much might repeat it. Whether repetition, whether requote there, whether also, whether end quote there, and whether reason, whether requote and whether end quote there, and whether reason there, and whether quote and whether requote there, and whether requote and whether quote there. Reason there of minor remarks and with minor remark, and whether reason there, and whether just whether minor remark there, and whether minor remarks there to political beef. The 7 billion Nazis are going to deprecate and joke this place to the right. It's already gone. They have no predators. Why is there anybody? Why is there any government serving for this liberative? How did so many persons get drugged? Right? Like, come on, guys. Degeneracy is so powerful. We can't even finish them. We're doing so much and we can't even finish them. How does that confidence quickly return? These are menti and they're demented. With using logic and regard those as menti really does, because these are menti. The ignorance are not so much as mental, and they partially come from, maybe contaminated from those sources. President should not be necktied. If you have to be necktied, where's your nuclear bombs? Tell whoever to interfere to get the hell out of here, or whether to get out of it. Notice in each way, the I word, the word that I write on to describe the absolute, whether compared, it may not be the most optimal. Actually, this wasn't sort of instated. May not be the optimal. Actually, this wasn't sort of, and whether this wasn't sort of, and whether this wasn't stated, and whether presented also, and whether just, and whether, and this wasn't, and whether another, and whether this wasn't stated, are overusing, right? And now guys got labeled as schizophrenia. We know it. The Nazis even know. The Nazis, even Nazism know that's not true. Whether sort of had on the process, and knows, and whether Nazism knows those are not such, and whether those are not namely of whether Swiftophiac as a minor pronunciation, whether that's the pronunciation, maybe regardable, whether maybe another. Now which side fights us in their default hairstyle? Check out the reflex of the degenesis. Okay. See how. Mathematical plans once the more detailed version can be there. GH they had to kept on going with the what GH what the reason there what the recent GH the code word there of whether code word there kept on spasming, like instead of what the reasons instead of mentioning something as if it's there, no eloquency, no eloquent, no humor, this erratic spasm of this emotional roller coasters, not so much even whether and whether not so much as whether also whether and not so whether reason and whether not so much of this as roller coaster, whether there's it kept and whether it kept going and whether was and rather was kept going this way. It may seem alright, but I have notes to actually present, and some of them are better to be steady as possible, or whether as matched as possible to the original formulated, whether at the original formulated, and whether recent, and also at the original instance to formulated. And this combines with many of the error for over notification by the deprived root males with no cultural lineage, given all these liberals raised, like some professors, like some NASA scientists' own children, or whether own children's friends, or whether to the major upper class. It's been a total mess. Lots of dysfunction. We have a lot of problems to fix. And that's for now for the this video instance, whether that's on for and probable also to be of during instance of whether during mentioned for whether another whether just whether and whether recent another whether recent for during instance of whether also at during and whether during placement and whether place and whether location from whether location at before place to of this example whether of and whether of whether recent just and whether recent and whether of the probable to be whether recent there and whether recent of the probable to also to could be of there and whether to probable to could be there of and whether to probable of and whether to probable to could be there of to probable of to also to suitable of and whether to probable of to could be of to probable of to also to suitable of and whether recent and to probable of to could be of to probable of to also to could be from whether recent just and whether recent instead and whether instead to probable of to could be of recent whether minor and repronunciation to probable to could be to probable of also to suitable of whether recent is and with minor instead to probable of whether also and whether instead whether recent and whether also and whether instead to probable of to could be of whether recent there to probable of to could be to from comparison probable to passage of and whether it's probable of to could be of whether another and whether it's probable of to could be to and whether of and whether it's probable of to could be to whether it's probable of to could be and whether to just whether with minor rather instead and whether with minor rather and whether with minor and whether and with minor instead to probable of to could be of. Yeah, camera device better be in the cannibal recently checked.